Wandering aimlessly looking for the nearest colourful flower, meet Stuffy, the lovable woven creature who is clumsily walking around a vibrant world without direction, a friend, or much of any idea at all. A chance encounter with a new friend, the mysterious robotic firefly, begins our adventure as Glitch and Stuffy try to make sense of the world surrounding them. Lucky for us, Glitch is pretty clever and directs us with clues and hints along the way that makes everything just that little bit easier. In a story about the journey of two close pals, Glitch is the brains and Stuffy can look pretty cool, and his almost helplessness makes him endearing to us. Have to add in that along the way he has a few different transformations that does actually help out. So let's talk about Glitch for a little while, a metal firefly that has memory loss and decides that Fluffy is the ideal companion to help traverse through the world. Glitch helps Stuffy find his bravery and, on numerous occasions, they stand by each other, choosing not to go on alone when it might be more convenient to do so. As Glitch slowly puts the pieces of the memory puzzle back together, our heroes become fixated on the faraway moon that surely will unlock all the mysteriousness of this woven universe. It's all sounding pretty rosy at this point, so naturally we need a sense of dread that goes beyond the crippling amnesia that inflicts both of our protagonists. That dread takes form as a robotic spider sneaks into view. It doesn't take a genius to put two and two together and see that this spider is the bad guy and must be playing some kind of destructive role within our world. It would be remiss of me not to mention the third integral component of this trio. Woven has an ever-present narrator that directs us along the way, introducing us to the world surrounding, giving some subtle and not-so-subtle hints, and on numerous occasions just reminding us of the scenery. Boy, does that narrator like talking about trees. I must say at the start I felt akin to being within a warped Teletubby episode, each step being calmly narrated and somewhat making everything a little bit too obvious. Working my way into Woven though, I started to become more accepting and maybe even fond of the rhyming pattern. As the narrative progresses, I accept the narrator as an integral part of the journey. It really is quite a unique element of this game. Back onto Stuffy, the main controllable character and the lost resident within the Woven world. As we progress through the story, we get a glimpse of a past world in which Woven characters live differently, and as we see different etchings and markings on cave walls, you quickly get the idea that there is a hidden mystery present. In a game that is just so darn cheerful, the tension is created by obstacles that constantly block the path, and a few different robotic creatures that are the only glimpse of aggression that we see in Woven, and who look so clearly out of place in the gorgeous world surrounding. Stuffy is customizable in a few cool ways. Each part of his body can be changed in terms of colour, which allows for some stylish designs to be implemented. By finding different music machines that are hidden within the world, and with a little bit of help from Glitch, Stuffy gains blueprints to change into different shapes of animals. Mix matching is also allowed, which I really liked. Want an elephant head with bird feet in the colours of the rainbow? Well, go for it. Each area has some pretty linear direction to progress the story, but there are also some designs and fabrics that you can find, scan and unlock and use to customise Stuffy. Sometimes this can even help you make your way past an obstacle, other times it is purely to look as suave as possible. Different animal parts have different abilities, and finding the right balance of this mix-matching process allows you to work your way through the problem-solving elements. Woven allows you to explore a pretty, vibrant and interesting world with a few surprises along the way. The game constantly answered my concerns as I delved further into the gameplay. For example, at first I was worried that the game would be too linear with no scope for exploration and I would be left constantly walking down the path in front of me. And very quickly this was out the window as the scenery in front expanded and I had a lot more choice in which direction I was allowed to go. This is where the search of different patterns and blueprints becomes a much bigger part of our adventure. It is also where we get to unlock some hints towards what Glitch's past is and his role to play within the greater storyline. Woven felt for a big part of the start for me like it should be a 3D platformer. I was a little bit frustrated that I couldn't run and jump up ledges and utilise the different upgrades more fluently. The further I found myself into the game, the more I bought into the narrative-first style of gameplay, and I ignored the limitations of movement and focused on the searching and solving instead. Switching to a controller from mouse only definitely helped, and I found that using a mouse and keyboard was also a good option for controlling Stuffy. My last concern was that some of the puzzles were proving to be a little bit too easy for my liking, and I felt like I was blitzing through the game at a pretty quick pace. Then I got stuck. Like stupidly stuck, and had to slow down and stop trying to speedrun my way through Woven. The solution was simple, and clearly I had missed something obvious, but I feel like a good puzzle game needs a few moments where you sit back and think, how did I miss that? This is what Woven does so well. It knows what type of game it is. It doesn't try to emulate or copy anything else, and just enjoyably tells a story that's interesting without being brain-hurtingly confusing. You get to go at your own pace. Want to collect everything and customize Stuffy to the max? Go for it. Want to rush through finishing only the core storyline? Well, that's an option too. But what you can't miss is a relaxed story-driven game pushing a feel-good idea set in a large engaging world about a woven soul and his little mechanical friend.
This gentle creature was at ease. Marvelous.